We're here at the Missouri History Museum, standing in the middle of the St. Louis Sound Gallery. This gallery covers St. Louis's entire popular music history, from the dawn of recorded sound in the late 1800s all the way up through the 2000s. We end with Nelly and the St. Lunatics. So across that range is a huge number of international stars and figures, and then also some local St. Louis legends that maybe didn't get such international fame but were huge influences here in the city locally. So people like Henry Townsend, he was a St. Louis blues musician who recorded in 9 consecutive decades, one of the longest recording careers of any musician in history. We have his piano on display. But then we also have artifacts from Josephine Baker, Scott Joplin, Tina Turner, Miles Davis, Chuck Berry, Nelly, all of the big international stars that you might recognize from St. Louis. Everyone's heard of Scott Joplin. He's the ragtime name, but he was just one of dozens of performers who came to St. Louis in the early 1900s. We had a local district here called Chestnut Valley. It was right around where Union Station is today. This was the center of the ragtime world in St. Louis, particularly a bar named the Rosebud Cafe was where all of these ragtime pianists would come and have cutting contests where they actually faced against one another to see who had the best chops. It was run by a man named Turpin, who was actually the first African-American ragtime artist to produce his own piece of sheet music, the Harlem Rag, in 1897. A huge, influential individual, but a name you won't be nearly as familiar with as someone like Scott Joplin. When we talk about St. Louis's music heritage, it stretches very far back, but it also comes very much up into the present. So of course, in my own lifetime, Nelly is undeniably the name associated with St. Louis. We have pieces on display from Nelly. We actually have a microphone from his recording studio that both he and the St. Lunatics used to record albums. In the early 2000s, Nelly came out and put Midwest hip-hop on the map in a really huge way. Hip-hop was a genre often thought about as being an East Coast or West Coast genre, and here were these incredible artists right here in St. Louis. So when it comes to St. Louis and America's national music legacy, the city is very underrepresented a lot of times. We have ties to just about every major American genre you can think of, going all the way back to ragtime, blues and jazz, some of those really early genres of popular music. St. Louis was one of the formative centers where people were coming to hear these sounds for the very first time. And when you come to visit the St. Louis Sound Gallery, we want to make sure you remember to bring some headphones, because we actually have a QR code near the entry, and you can scan it with your phone and pull up a playlist of 100 different St. Louis artists. So as you're walking through the gallery, you'll see little record symbols with numbers on them. Those correspond to the playlist, and you can actually hear the artists. You know, music is the real artifact here that we want to bring attention to, so you can hear the artists as you're learning about them and seeing these artifacts from their lives. And we talk about more than just the artists as well. This exhibit dives into some of the wider context, the venues, the radio stations, even the record labels that were based here in St. Louis. One of the most legendary local venues is Mississippi Nights. We have pieces of the original bar top and stage floor from Mississippi Nights, as well as the giant logo window that was built into the outside wall of the building. That's going to be a favorite artifact, I imagine, for a lot of visitors, because they'll remember lining up right next to that window when they were getting into shows at Mississippi Nights back when they were younger. You know, when we talk as historians, we oftentimes like to separate out history. We say, well, that's immigrant history or that's baseball history. You can't actually do it so cleanly like that. Music history is history. Hidden within these artifacts, you'll find stories about race, you'll find stories about immigration, you'll find stories about food and culture and nightlife. This exhibit goes far beyond music. This is a celebration of St. Louis's history and identity. So the St. Louis Sound exhibit is open for more than a year. It closes in January of 2023, so you're going to want to make plans to come visit, and the price is right, it's absolutely free. And the exhibit isn't the only thing happening. We have a full lineup of programming and exciting things that are going to be going on while the exhibit is open. For more information about all of that, you can visit www.mohistory.org.